Hello, everybody, and welcome to Positive Fandom. I am your host, Artem, and of course, we have with us today Darth Plato. Darth Plato, how are you?
I'm good. It's a nice cool day out here in the Bay Area. It's a welcome change from what was here yesterday. I'm really looking forward to this movie after what we saw last week. But how are you?
I feel the same way. I'm looking forward to this film. Darth Plato, you recommended it. It's a Netflix film. Certainly looks very interesting. I'm excited for it. It's the weather has been a little bit cooler here in New York, while the rest of the country seems to be going through an extreme heat wave. We are not going through any kind of extreme heat wave, so there is that. But certainly, just glad to be here, enjoying this film, anticipating the upcoming holiday weekend and another historical film that we are going to be watching today called Narvik. And I don't know if that's the right late. Yeah, that's the right one here. Or is it this one? I think it might be that one. And certainly I know nothing about this film, but Darth Plato, it looks amazing. Did you want to say anything about the film before we get started?
I saw it about 2, 3 months ago. I didn't know it existed. It's much like with Operation Mincemeat. It's one of those gems about the war that I didn't know existed, and I was really glad that I found it. And I've been trying to tell people about it. And your channel is really the first, really the first opportunity I've had to really talk about this, and I'm really glad for the opportunity. This is a good movie.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're here to recommend it and also to be hosting the movie with me. As you guys know, Darth Plato and I do historical films and movies um, here on Positive Fandom, but also we do them on the Burr Network. So you can catch both of us there at any time doing our watch parties here and talking about it. We certainly do enjoy um, all of the different topics that we're covering here. And I'm kind of falling over my words, but certainly we've covered a lot here on the channel. And it is such a pleasure to have you here, Darth Plato, to for this live watch party. Guys, this movie is available on Netflix. So you can go onto Netflix and certainly you can see the watch party and watch along with us. I have down that it starts at 25 seconds. We're actually starting at a point where you're going to see, they'll tell you the film company, and then you start to see the historical footage, which is around 25 seconds into the film. We're starting relatively early into the film. Like I said, it is on Netflix. It's available on Netflix, so you can watch along with us. And I'm excited for it. I'm just actually trying to um, write the proper banner so that you can see what we're doing because I was kind of behind today, but certainly excited for this film here. And let me just finish putting this in, and we will get started with our watch party here. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. I hope I did this correctly. I think I did. And all right, so I'm sorry for the thing. Let's just do that and save. And so, guys, I might have to change that. Or maybe I can't change it because the time is, I can't change that. All right, so it's just going to have to stay like that. All right, without any further ado, I have my Netflix queued up for this film, Narvik. Darth Plato is ready. He has mentioned it several times. And the Outcast Creative says he saw it and enjoyed it. I'm assuming that's you, Lance. Let us know if you want to come on board. You're welcome as well. So let's go ahead and press that play button now. Now, this is another World War II historical film. And clearly we can see here, it says Norway declares neutrality when World War II breaks out.
Yep. Yeah, Norway had a long history of being a neutral country.
Sweden delivers 85% of the iron ore used by the German weapons industry.
Yep.
The ore is transported by train across the border and shipped out from Narvik. So Narvik must be an incredibly important port.
Yes, it's about 12. It's right on the coast, about 1,200 miles north of Oslo.
Stopping the ore transportation is considered by Great Britain to be of the utmost importance. The visuals, Darfledo, of real life footage are amazing. On April 4th, 1940, the British Marine Force mined Norwegian waters.
Yep. That was called Operation Wilfred.
We're going to have to watch that film if they ever made it. A troop of Norwegian soldiers are transferred to Narvik as neutrality guards the same day, unaware of the fact that Norway's neutrality has already been breached. So they didn't know Norway had been invaded. Is that it, Darth Leto?
Yes, it's a pretty. It's kind of politically complicated. The um, the Allies were trying to get the Norwegians to agree to landing an Allied force in Norway so that they could go into Sweden and take possession of the ore that the captain was telling us about. But Norway didn't want to play ball, neither did Sweden. So there was some question as to whether they were going to go in anyway, regardless of whether they had permission or not. So and the Germans were talking about a preemptive strike to prevent this, which is actually what happened. The Germans invaded four countries over the course of 2 days. Norway was the fourth one. So everybody in Norway really knew that it was only a matter of time before war came to them, but they were determined not to be the ones to break neutrality.
Okay. So that was their utmost important thing of maintaining was that sense of neutrality and not necessarily be directly involved in the war.
That's what they preferred, yes. This is the army militia. The Norwegian militia was actually pretty well trained. So this is right about April 1940.
Okay.
Yeah, there were skirmishes going off on the Norwegian coast. Yeah.
I guess some of those skirmishes, Darth Plato, were the War Sailor documentary or film I was telling you about the other day.
Very likely. At the early in the war, Norway was they started off neutral, then they became pro-German because of a coup in the government. The movie doesn't really get into that, but there was a man named Quisling overthrew the government,
Mm-hmm.
and toward the end of the war, they started. And Kisling was about to fail. There was a very long lasting Norwegian resistance, which was very well organized. They kept the British informed of activity. There was the Sweden story is very similar. They wanted to keep neutrality. They didn't want to break neutrality. But towards war's end, they started to become more openly allies. And when the British were talking about going into Norway, when their conversations with the Norwegians and the Swedes, they did so under the context of wanting to help Finland in the war against the USSR, because the USSR had invaded Finland in the previous November. So there was a thing called the Winter War was going on. So London tried to create this fiction that they were sending an expeditionary force to help the Finns. And that was what they told the Norwegian and Swedish governments and the Finnish governments. But in actuality, they had no intention of going to Finland. They had every intention of securing the ports of Norway and the ore sites in Sweden.
Okay.
And when the Germans got wind of this, there was a proper invasion. So the events we're seeing here are just before the tipping point.
She wants the night off.
Hmm.
Hell yeah, you can do a lot in a half an hour. At least they got some time together.
I think it's been more than half an hour.
Yes. He's late.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious, that's not good.
Yeah, it's starting. So this should be right about the date of the invasion.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, they really know where they stand right there. Doesn't sound very friendly to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the date was for the Quisling coup. It might have happened by now, but they were definitely fighting in and around Narvik. The people in and around Narvik did not capitulate with the Quisling government.
So everybody's job positions are all, being changed and rearranged, and you're being told what you can do and what not to do. And they had no for they had no knowledge that their country was going to surrender, did they?
You mean the coup? No, absolutely not. They understood there was going to be trouble, but they didn't understand. They didn't know it was going to quite turn out quite like that. The surrender of the government quite so quickly with the coup is really that must have been a difficult thing to watch. But people in Narvik, as you can see, they're not taking it lying down; they're marching. And the commander is very smart. He knows that they can't just throw, they can't just dig in and just make a stand and all get shot. And well, what is that going to do? If they're going to make a good, they have to do it where it counts, not just get them all shot in a protest. There's a war going on there.
Yeah. Now, this was also a huge part of the war where there were a lot of people who were in hiding in this country, correct, Darth Leto?
Yeah, this is the English, uh, part of the English group right here getting out while they can.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what their role was exactly. Yeah, that's true. The British were already massing for a landing. The British and the French and the Poles. That was operation. That was what was that called? Operation R4. Not very elegantly named. You seem pretty relaxed.
Do they have any advantage in their home front in their home country? Is there any special advantage that they have other than knowing the terrain? I mean,
Well, that's generally true in war. People who know the country know how to fight their best. The question is does the enemy have enough people, material, time, manpower, and ordnance really to make that irrelevant? In this case, probably.
now these are the ones from the movie I was talking about. I'm guessing Darth Plato from War Sailor. We just unfortunately saw a person who was deceased, whose body floated into onto shore, or more or less near the port, and it's from those ships. In
Oh,
War
I'm not.
Sailor, those individuals were not soldiers, but they were, is it like forced to become um, merchant sailors that would do whatever they were told to do during the war.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure the British did that too. I have no doubt. Okay, country. We like to think that countries, are like a chap in the neighborhood that just wants to help the neighborhood. But really, when it comes down to it, countries really advance their own interests. There's power calculations. So when you have these perfectly good ships on the sea, Norwegian ships, the British aren't really going to say, well, they're not really thinking, well, what's the nice thing to do? They're thinking about power calculations. Well, these ships are very useful to us in the war effort, so we're going to use them. And the crews are going to agree, or they're going to be put off the ship and crewed by people who will.
And here we have Terrier Tiberius Wonka, a very good friend of both of ours, PGS member, friend of the channel, huge presence as on the network as well as on the Phantasmagorian show. Hello, Terrier, who says, yes, Narvik. This all took place about 6 hours north of where I grew up. Well, it's good to see you, Terrier. It's such a pleasure. Haven't spoken to you for a while. I'm so glad they made this film, and Darth Plato and I are excited to be doing this live watch party talking all about it. So please do stick around if you have time, and it'd be interesting to hear your views about how you feel this film came out.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Terry. It's nice to have that kind of insight.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about this conflict, really. Um, really, I've done reading about the diplomatic blow by blow of what was happening before and during, which is a pretty interesting read. But yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Norway itself.
I don't either. I know nothing about it, so I found it so interesting between this and the War Sailor series. To see dramatizations like this, it's so valuable, and really just grateful that they decided to go ahead and make something like this.
Yeah, I agree. So up at this point in time, the Germans have invaded 4 countries in the course of 2 days. So 5 countries, yeah, four countries. So Denmark, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Norway.
And of course, Darth Plato. This my grand Terrier goes on to say, my grandfather was a war sailor, um, a civilian drafted to wage war and sail for the merchant fleet. And yes, I'm sorry to hear about that, Thierry, but thank you for sharing that with us and letting us know your family's role and history. It's so important for us to see that, and we did know you meant war sailor. Um, did you see War Sailor, Terrier? It was recently nominated for an award, I think, at the Toronto International Film Festival. Certainly, and this point of the movie, Darth Plato, we are witnessing them. They want to blow up this particular
Yeah, I'm not sure
this
what the
bridge.
value of the bridge is. They're
Me too.
probably, I suspect what they're probably doing is they want to limit the German mobility to frustrate any attempt to get for the Germans to send troops from other parts of Norway to Narvik or vice versa, or to block the Germans from taking the ore and shipping it to another location. So by this way, the ore is stuck in Narvik, and so if the Germans want it, they're going to have to sail it out, where they're going to get sunk by the British.
Hmm. And so their intention, of course, here is to go ahead and blow this bridge up. Incredibly dramatic. Terry says, sadly, I did not see it in theaters, but now it's on Netflix as an extended three-part miniseries. Yes, that is War Sailor. And he says it's high on his list. Well, if we review it, Terrier, you're welcome to join Darth Plato and I. It's a three-part series to watch War Sailor if you're interested in joining us to do that here.
They don't have enough dynamite.
They have to climb. They have to climb the bridge now. And we are happy to find out that your grandfather did survive. Excellent, excellent, Thierry. Wow, this looks so dangerous.
Yeah, he's pretty high up there.
Oh my god.
What a thing to do.
Well, I have to say, in this first 30 minutes of the film, they certainly have kept the tension up. It didn't feel this way, but there was a certain sense of immediacy in the first 5 minutes. But boy, things sure have escalated, and this is getting incredibly serious and very, very dangerous. There's civilians there, there are soldiers there, they've got explosives there. This is unbelievably tense and oh my gosh. Oh, oh.
Yeah, they're out in the open. That snow's not giving them any cover. They're not wearing white.
No, they're not. I just hope it works the way they want it to work, you know? I hope it just goes crazy. I mean, when I say go crazy, I mean the explosives does what it should do. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, he needs to jump down.
Oh god.
You're way too close to it. Yeah.
Oh my god, roll away, roll away. Oh. Oh. Oh no, I know what's going to happen to them. Interior tells us I have had the great pleasure of hanging out with actor Stig Henrik Hoff, who plays the little kid's grandfather, Isaac, in these three separate occasions. He is a very pleasant fellow. What a wonderful opportunity, Terrier, to meet the actor. And he also says he also played on the prequel to The Thing. Oh, I didn't know that. I liked that prequel from 2011.
Didn't know there was a prequel.
You didn't know Darth Plato? I think you would like it.
The only one I saw was the Kurt Russell one. That was the only one I saw.
There's a 1951 version called The Thing from Another Planet, I think, or something like that, which you might also like.
The English are definitely coming.
Oh boy. She's going to have to get creative with these translations. Oh, did he really? Yeah. Oh, you did tell me this. I forgot. I forgot. I feel like I just reread this. Sorry, Terry. And Terrier goes on to still us. The full title of the movie is called The Fight for Narvik, Hitler's First Defeat. And of course, that what we're seeing on the screen here? Kampen Narvik, Hitler's Forster something must be what's on here. I'm using a foreign poster for the movie title poster right up here, Terrier. What's in the bag? Food?
I can
Yeah, but
kind of
they're
understand that.
blocked so hard now, right, Darth Plato?
Hmm?
They're being watched so hard now.
Yeah, it's a high priority target. Yeah, so I'm not surprised. And also, well, she particularly is going to be watched because they know that she was married to one of the agitators. Look how deep that snow is. It must be cold being in that kind of It's April and there's snow on the ground and they're right on
Yeah,
the water. It must be cold being on close to the water like that.
yeah, it must be freezing.
You know what they mean.
They are pressing her for a lot of things. I hope they don't press her for that. But we know it does happen during war.
Yep.
She's in a very precarious
But
position.
that dates back to the Bible.
Mhm. So, Darth Plato, does the whole town know that she's hiding these British people?
I doubt that very much. Someone would have talked by now.
Oh, I see. So now she's becoming military intelligence. This is much more involved than what I thought it was.
And suddenly you have a career in espionage. Yeah, things are going to get a lot more dangerous when the British start to arrive.
Well, you called it, Darth Plato. And we're 45 minutes into this. This film is amazing.
Yeah, there was 2 rounds of attacks on the ford. The British went in there with a destroyer group, torpedoed a bunch of targets, then pulled out, and the second group came in with at the head of a battleship, and the Germans didn't have any ships left after that, but they still controlled the town. So the British controlled the water, and the Germans controlled the ground. They have too few men at the moment.
And of course, this is the actor that Terrier was talking about who plays Ashlak. Um, he had a chance to meet him. Stig Heinrich Hoff is his name.
Oh, yikes.
So, Darth Plato, this is the critical bit of information that she is finding out for the British.
Yeah, the British were they're concerned about the what was it, the arm? It was the shore installations or the guns on the ship. They were, I think there were guns that were on ships that were off the water that was causing them problems. That could be what they're talking about here.
So Terry says the woman who plays the female boss at the hotel is Norwegian singer Kari Bremnes, an actual Northern Norwegian. Do check out her other music. It transcends language. Thank you, Terry.
Like like this architecture. Dana Papirin, Mitkommen.
It's always at the bottom of the bag.
That might have been a shell, not a bomb.
That was that office building, wasn't it, Darth Plato?
I don't know. Was it?
Well, she said that they worked in that. Oh,
Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what the British would gain by shelling the towns. I'm not sure what's going on.
Gee, maybe it isn't Darth Vader. Maybe I'm wrong. I
Well, Narvik was bombed. The Germans did bomb Narvik at one point, but that was later. That wasn't here. We're not at that point yet.
oh my goodness. 4 weeks later in Rosemay. I don't know if that's a location or
Yeah, so they're in May. Yeah.
the Germans have established an iron ring around Narvik.
My
French and
understanding.
Polish troops have, disembarked to attack from the north and south.
Yeah. Yeah. Allied troops did invade at some point.
First, the Norwegians must neutralize. I can't read the rest because I wasn't fast enough.
Yeah,
Um,
but it did go by fast. Yeah. So the reason why the Allied were able to respond so quickly is because, like I said before, they already had a ground force prepared to go into Norway with the pretext of helping Finland.
he's still alive. But what are they doing?
Surviving. Oh yeah, the Germans put them to work.
Yeah, they are seriously POWs.
Yeah, I bet you will.
She is. Oh, this is to get him to get up. It's amazing the power of love.
Hmm.
Wow. That was a motivation to get him up. And I'm glad it did get him up. Terrier says, and while all this was happening, our neighbors, Sweden, sat quietly with something in their derrieres. Well, Terrier, this certainly shows the resilience that the people of Narvik had in order to deal with all of this,
But
which is
yeah,
so.
the reason why the Swedes were shipping the ore is because they were afraid the Germans would just invade and take it that way. So they felt that cooperating was more likely to keep them out of war.
I have a feeling I know what her husband is thinking of doing.
Blow up the ammunition.
Mhm. Even if it
Swedish and
means,
yeah, they
yeah,
just
I'm
said it was
sorry.
Swedish. They just said it was Swedish ammunition.
Yes, yes. So they are aware of what's going on, or at least they suspect they know.
Whoa.
That was really close. This might be a good time to blow up the stuff. What do you think, Darth Plato?
No time like now, but they have to be a little more how to try to make an effort to be discreet. Yeesh.
Hey, Tom. How are you today? Good to see you, Tom. Oh, 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 oh,
Yikes.
oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I get a little animated.
Hey, he's gun jammed.
Talking about things can change from 1 minute to the next. I've never seen this before. Have you, Darth Plato?
Yes. Saw it 2, 3 months ago.
I mean, this particular story told this way, other than 2, 3 months ago.
No. Now, the reason why the French are involved here, the French in particular are involved here, is because the government believed that getting the Germans to commit heavily in the north, that is in the north being Scandinavia, that it would take the pressure off. Ooh, they shot those guys in the back. It would take the pressure off of the threat of the Germans invading France. So they wanted to divert the Germans as much as possible. So that's what the French here believes is going on. What they don't realize is that the German invasion of France is already underway.
All right, guys. So we're about an hour into this. A lot of action in this, Darth Plato. A lot.
Look at this countryside.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Gee, they have enough ammo up there to hold things down for a little while. I guess they're staying there.
The Norwegians that fought actually acquitted themselves pretty well. They are remembered for that. As did the French. The problem with the French was, yeah, their organization at the top was not well suited for the task.
And Terry says, all I can think about with snow covered mountains like this, home.
How you doing, Tom? Welcome to the show.
And Tom says, I'm a little late. Hey, that's fine, Tom. Always good to see you, Tom Jr. Jackson, moderator, collaborator, and friend. Such a great part of our community. Good to see you as always, Tom.
This guy seriously needs to have his face wiped.
Yes, he does. He does. They
He
sound
looks really, he looks really gnarly. He bit that guy.
they sounded very together there when he said, "This is what we're fighting for together." Narvik 1 week later. Terrier says, "I grew up in a small coastal town, just like Narvik, harbor ships surrounded by mountains." It sounds so tranquil, everybody. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to Tom Jr. Jackson's YouTube channel. Certainly do check it out. Tom has such wonderful reviews on his channel, guests, interviews, and so much more. Check out Tom Jr. Jackson's YouTube channel here on YouTube.
Well, I know the Germans at one point tried to send the a couple battle cruisers, the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau, break break the British control over the area. That didn't work out for them.
Now, we knew this was going to happen. Darth Plato, from the beginning of the film, I had asked about this because, of the fact that there were people in hiding in the country during the war. And so, certainly, here is one moment where the mother of the family, who's been incredible, she's been an incredible woman, has been doing so much to keep these people safe. Let's see how she maneuvers this.
Pretty risky going out like that.
And Darth Plato, there was a certain amount of people who starved to death during this time during the war as well.
There always is in war. Always, even in the home countries. Yeah, the British mean business.
Oh man, this is just so incredibly difficult. And thanks for letting us know that, Terry. I was hoping you would say something about this. As in a couple of weeks, there won't be night anymore. True. During the summer, there is no nighttime in northern Norway. It's daytime 24/7. I would love to experience that. What do you think, Darth Leto? Could you stand it?
No, probably not. I do remember reading that the Germans had a hard time planning all of this because of the way the time worked up there. Reinen Ubung, they called it. I'm sure that's what the Greek explorer thought when he sailed up towards that area. Something. Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not a time to be out in the open.
She's dodging bullets. There's bombs. There's, what is she trying to get to, a hospital?
The only people who would have a hospital would be the German army.
Oh my God.
In the end, self interest is always going to win out.
Yeah, Terry. It was very, very dramatic to see it happen, but not a surprise, as Darth Leto has mentioned. Oh, he had shrapnel or a bullet or something.
Probably shrapnel.
Poor thing. The Rombach's Fjord 2 weeks later. And guys, we are well into the film. We've got about 30 minutes left. Whew.
Can't even read that.
something about going ahead for the decisive battle of Narvik. I think that's all I was able to capture, where the translation was. So that means that there are more bombs to come, I'm guessing. And these guys have been in the worst of conditions outside. I didn't see a tent in sight, Darth Plato, or anything. That water's
Yeah,
freezing.
I know. Yeah, I know that the HMS Renown was part of this operation. That was a battleship. The Germans didn't have a whole lot that could stand up to a battleship.
Technically speaking, these guys shouldn't even be alive, but they are tough as nails. It's unbelievable they could work and be alive under these conditions.
Boom. That could not be pleasant.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, this is so scary.
Must have been a rush for them too.
I'm afraid of what's above the hill that they can't see. This is really some great cinematography here, Darth Plato. It looks hard. It looks tiring. It looks cold. It looks, very beaten down. There's no food around. There's no
Yeah, but
comfort.
yeah, but when you're running around like that and you have the rush of war, that does a lot to stave off the cold. What's bad about the cold is sitting there and being inactive. Yikes! That's what the Germans felt at Stalingrad was they had to keep their heads down, but it was so cold they just froze where they were. He's a pretty tough guy, this officer.
Now, here's this home field advantage of what I was talking about, of knowing there's another way.
Yeah, like the a Norwegian equivalent to Chancellorsville. So the locals would know about these little side paths and stuff like that. That's what happened at Chancellorsville when the Confederates were down there. There was this little wooded path that hardly anyone knew about. The only people that knew about it were the people that lived there, and so they were able to get an entire corps, entire division through that path and flank the Union Army. That that's the advantage of knowing the area, and
And
that's what's going on here.
exactly. And Terrier says Heinrich Morstad, who plays the touch major, is most likely the best trained actor in the movie, theater trained.
Yeah, I
Well, you know
believe it. He's a
something.
pretty tough looking dude.
Yes, Terrier. The performances in this film have been spectacular. A wonderful film, absolutely extraordinary.
I guess not. I guess it's not under control. There's tracer rounds.
Yeah, maybe it's so that we could see what it looks like as a from the film point of view.
Yeah, that's true.
But he had that dynamite with him, remember, or whatever it was. Yeah. Run! I'm sorry. Okay. And guys, it certainly is an incredible operation we're seeing over
It
the.
was. Yeah, that's why I was saying that I've been saying for a long time they should have made a movie about this.
Yes, and I'm glad that they did this. I think this is an excellent film, and we know the outcome of the film, but I think it's an excellent film. So well done. Um, you were right, Darth Leto. This is extraordinary. How good did it feel to be able to say that to the entire group of men?
Allons-y. En avant. That probably would be more correct. Well, I can't imagine they would be gone for very long.
What?
Yeah, he's a real cat, isn't he?
He knows she's married, right? Like, what is going on? This is odd. It's kind of an odd proposal.
That's true. This was this was the first defeat that the Germans suffered on land.
Don't do it, buddy. Don't do it. Don't say it. Don't. He's going to lie to her to try to coerce her. Right? Now, there's two ways she could play this. She could say, that's not my husband on that list. She could play that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the significance of the list was. I don't know.
Well, I thought it was to coerce her to for her to go wherever he asked her to go. They do it to a lot of people there to coerce them, regardless of whether that list is accurate or not. I don't know if her husband is dead. I don't remember. I don't think. I thought we saw him a few minutes ago. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's exactly right. No, that's very true in the history of war. It's like in the Second World War, settling accounts.
Well, she's saying she has to move further north, but
Yeah,
not with the Germans. I don't think she would ever suggest that, but maybe she does need to go to the country so that this is not an issue.
yeah. After the war was over in France, there was a clandestine attempt by a lot of ex-members of the resistance to round up collaborators and
Mhm.
try them in little star chamber kind of style justice,
Yeah.
like the settling accounts, and that was common.
Yes.
The Dutch did it too.
Yes, I've watched a
The
few
the
movies,
the
with
Czechs
that.
the Czechs did it. Everybody did it.
Mhm. I know this chick isn't happy with her, even though we don't really know everything that she did personally. So, it's not just one person and one machination, but
There it is, flag of Norway. They probably don't know yet. Here, look at this.
And this is in
Yeah,
May 1940.
yeah. So yeah, France is fallen by this time. So the Allies are going to start pulling out because of the disaster in France. So that's just going to leave the door open for the Germans to come back in. But they don't know. They don't know that yet. Yeah, they think it's over.
Of course, this is the most heartbreaking part in a sense.
This is like the eye of the storm right now. It's a false calm. This is their house.
Yeah, what a fantastic film.
Yeah, it must be tough seeing a house like that.
Hello, Bonzo Kilborn. I hope you are well. We are watching the end of Narvik, a fantastic World War II film. I hope you do get a chance to check it out. Darth Plato and I both recommend the film highly. Such an incredible story. We hope you are well.
And that's what he was trying to do. He doesn't know yet. Hmm. Yeah, the average people didn't really know what the British were planning to do.
I don't think she would have said that, but
Whoa.
I could understand her being upset, but I don't think I would have said that to anybody.
Yeah, that was quite a statement.
Yeah.
The retaliation's begun.
Might be a good time to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, yeah. The disaster of France is why the Allies pulled out.
Fantastic film. Excellent recommendation, Darth Plato, and thank you for recommending it.
Wow, rumors spread fast. Yeah, assuming they're going to England. I'm not sure where else they could go.
And Terrier says being at all a German collaborator was the top of shame. Just look at the term, all derived from one person's last name, Quisling.
Yeah, that's a little bit different though. he was he committed a coup against the government. This lady didn't commit a coup against the government. It's not quite the same level of collaboration.
Local fishing boats succeeded in evacuating the remaining civilians before German bombers left the city in ruins.
Yeah, they did.
And here, Terrier talks about the awful treatment of Norwegian children impregnated by German soldiers suffered in the years after the war is horrible. The recapture of Narvik is considered Hitler's first defeat in World War II, but the victory was brief.
Yeah, that happened in Germany too, in the Rhineland during the occupation.
Without
It was very
informing
common.
Norway, Great Britain and France ordered a full withdrawal.
Yeah, that I'm not surprised.
Norwegian forces were left alone, and it was too fast.
Yeah, yeah, June. Yeah, June 40 is when the capitulation. Yeah, I'm not sure when the Kisling, whatever deal was before or after this.
This is the was the largest battle in Norwegian soil. It says, well done to the production team and the cast in this film. Um, what an incredible performance.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, Darth Plato, any final thoughts on this incredible film that really has certainly gotten my attention? And I also want to thank Terrier for all his comments during the film. Darth Plato, what are your final thoughts about Narvik?
Well, I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is it's sort of like my reciprocation for anthropoid, because I didn't know if that movie existed, and you recommended it. Oh, this would be interesting, and it was a fabulous movie. So I thought I would return the favor. The Operation Mincemeat and now Narvik. So that was really the reason behind it. Narvik, it's a good movie, but it just seems like it's so. If I recommend, oh, it is a great movie, I'll watch Narvik, and people just sort of say, "What?" and they don't know what I'm talking about. No one knows what Narvik is. I as soon as I saw the movie listing in the movie in the Netflix listing, I knew what it was because I knew that there was a campaign in Narvik. So I'm really glad that they made this movie. It's just long overdue that a story like this was has been told. I'm glad it was. It I thought they did a good job of it.
They certainly did a great job of it. I think that I'm sure Terrier could tell us about filming locations, or maybe you know it, or someone knows. But it looked very authentic. It certainly looked like it was filmed on location in the right place, or at least wherever they picked looked quite authentic. I thought the acting and performances were spectacular. Terrier talked about a number of the different actors that he's had the pleasure of meeting, some classically trained on the stage. Certainly very interesting cast and crew. It looked very accurate. the performances were remarkable, and that lady who plays the main role, she was just incredible. Being able to deal with everything that happened, that must not have been easy for her to deal with, and to try and keep her family safe. Certainly found herself in a very difficult situation um, at that time. Certainly, I think her name is Christine Hartgen, who played Ingrid Toft, and certainly a number of the different actors. Stig Heinrich Hoff, who played Aslak Toft, the father. Terrier mentioned he met him, along with many other actors that made this story come alive so well. It says that does it say anything else about it? I can't tell, but um, there's not a lot of reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but they're very good. Um, it is something to think about. It's available
Yeah,
on
yeah. The
Netflix.
the I think the title is problematic because people it's the sort of you see the word and you just sort of go over it. I don't know what that is. Next thing, it, they probably should have named it something else. I don't know what, but like maybe the Battle of Norway or something like that. That would have been better. I also wanted to thank Terrier for being here because the insight and the commentary was quite welcome.
I agree. Terrier spoken earlier, Plato, about the title of the movie is actually "The Fight for Narvik." Kappen Narvik, which I'm assuming that's what it is in the poster. I chose a foreign poster on purpose. um, that says Kappen on Narvik. And it says Hitler's first defeat. Hitler forced a Nerdalock. I can't read the whole thing because we're covering it. But I wanted that to be on there because I knew it was a foreign film, and I do like foreign films, as do you. You know, we're fond of foreign films, so we've been down this road before. We enjoy seeing foreign films, especially ones like this. So um, yes, thank you, Terrier, for all your contributions. And of course, Tommy Jackson, thank you for always being here. We appreciate you, as well as Bonzo Kilborn, who's here tonight. Bonzo, when you get a chance, go ahead and watch the film and let us know what you thought about this film, Narvik. We certainly are going to talk about these films again. Outcast Creative was here earlier, says that he saw the film. I'm assuming it's Lance, and he really enjoyed this one. I can see why. Darth Plato, I've had such a wonderful time watching this film with you. Can you please tell us, where can people find you?
You can find me right here on the It Show, the Positive Fandom.
Well, Darth Plato, thank you for being here. You guys can reach out to Darth Plato here on Positive Fandom, of course, also on the Bur Network. We have some projects coming up. We've got some Napoleon projects coming up on the Bur Network as well, and other things that Darth Plato and I will be doing over the next year or 2 years or however long we're going to keep doing this. But we're not going to stop. There's so many films to talk about and explore. Certainly enjoying all of this. I want to thank everybody who is watching this and who has seen the film. And please, we do encourage you to go ahead and see Narvik. It's an incredible film about this defeat that happened in Norway during World War II. You certainly will enjoy it. It's such a well-made film. And of course, everybody out there, just want to thank you all for the support for the channel, and for you cinephiles out there, just for films in general. So, guys, thank you for everything. And guys, remember, no matter where you are out there, no matter what you're doing, um, always remember, guys, always remember. And thank you, Tom, for that. And thank you, yes, Ponzo. You're making me laugh. Always remember, and no matter where you are, guys, always remember to please be kind. Take care. Bye.